Hi guys, welcome to episode 4 of LoraJayne podcast.
Whoop whoop.
I hope you're all good. We've got here again. Who've we got?
Myself. I'm not having to introduce myself again.
Sure.
The bitch.
Also known as
Red flag expert.
this girl. I'm gonna sack her soon.
Morgan.
Morgan. I'm LoraJayne, and yet again we've got
Taylor.
Taylor's
Nobody
back.
knows.
Woo! Well, they do. They do because they all tuned into
You
the last
will.
one.
If you don't know, get to know.
Okay, so this week, guys, I've done a little experiment. I have decided, after over 10 years of not having one, I now have a relationship status on my Facebook.
Well done. Proud
Single.
of you. Proud of you.
Single, guys. Single Pringle for life.
For life.
So it's a bit of an experiment because I wanted to see how many would creep into the DMs. It's been successful.
Wow.
It has been very successful.
What was it? You had one of them like in less than an hour.
Less than an hour.
So you had no status on there
I
at
had
all?
nothing. I had nothing. And what I did was I updated my profile picture, not to anything major.
Mm-hmm.
I'll post it on here, guys. I'll do a quick post, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did put a quick profile update, like just literally going, you know,
Cheeky.
and updated my relationship status because it doesn't always now with Facebook. It doesn't always update people that you've updated your relationship status.
Well, that all depends because, you know, social media tech over here, like, it all depends on if you, it will say, would you like to share this? And you can click no.
Oh, okay.
Well, when I did it, it just said that it won't be shared. It just said it wouldn't be shared. But either way, that could be my settings. So
Might be.
yeah. So I thought, well, I'll update my profile picture as well because
Yeah.
not only that, my profile picture was with me and my little girl, and I was like, going for the single vibe.
Right,
Get rid of the kids. Get rid of the kids.
We
You
all know what men's feelings are towards
Oh, kick
That.
that 25.
Go to your dad.
25.
Go
Is
to,
it 25?
go to your dad. Yeah. Go to your dad, mate. Love you. Love
Go
you,
back,
babe.
pinch it.
Yes, I am 25. So yeah. So it's been successful. We've got a few sliding into the DMs.
Ooh.
But I haven't actually decided if I want to date.
It's a hard decision, I think, especially when there are children involved.
Exactly.
But they don't know that.
I feel like it's almost like, you know, it's like one of those, you know, like a pick and mix, like, not like a pick and mix, but, you know, there's like grabbing machines where it's kind of like,
I'll have you.
I'll have you.
There is a song that's like that. I want him too, or something like that. I will literally have to like find it.
But it was,
Yeah.
it's like, it's more of the case of like, you know, you kind of like putting yourself out there a bit, but without actually putting yourself out there. And being...
I want to see
It's-
what's there.
Yeah, it's kind of like advertising to whoever knows you. I'm single, so if I take your fancy, and you take mine, or if you grab my attention,
What we
'cause I
gonna
feel
do?
like
What we
I
gonna
feel like
do?
you know, they've got to grab your attention and they've got to be
Yeah.
able to keep it.
I think my thing now as well is I don't want to do dating apps. So I am going to do.
Oh,
I am going to do a podcast on dating apps. I'm trying to get the perfect person. I'm
just-
manifesting the perfect person to do this one with.
Can
They
I
are not
just
on dating
say-
apps. A high value man is not on dating apps.
No.
No, but the person that I wanted to get in, I would say, because you know how they say that on dating apps with men, there's like 20% of the men get all the girls as a general rule. He's in that top 20%. Or he was when I was back on dating sites. So he would be a really good one to get in. So I don't want to do the dating app one now. But they do say that now apparently Instagram is the best, not like meetup, not hookup app.
No.
But is the best app
Interaction.
for
Interaction.
Yeah,
because of stories, replying, popping up.
photos. You actually get
Yeah.
to know a person
Yeah.
more than just like 6 photos and stagnated
It
questions.
could be something so silly as like a cheeky quote, and they've seen that you've liked it. They'll send that to you saying, "Oh yeah, it's an easy way to make a conversation."
Exactly.
Yeah. Or it's like if you like post that like, oh, you know, I think like what, like, oh, I love cheesecake, and then like they saw like a meme about cheesecake and they'd be like, oh, you know, like I thought this was funny or whatever.
Yeah. Or you share a restaurant that they are a massive fan of, but you didn't have a clue.
Exactly,
And
so you
they'll
can
pop
see
up to
interest.
you and- yeah, exactly. It's
And
so
also
easy.
because you can get the only thing that I wish they'd do a bit more with Instagram is I'd like a location a bit better.
Location?
As in, like, you know, unless you put your location, you can hide your location. You don't always know.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't always
that's
know.
true.
Is someone in the UK? Are they in America? You don't know always
You don't know,
where they
that's
are.
true.
Until you spark. So I'd like that. But anyway, like I said, we're going to do dating apps. But my thing is, because obviously these people are flooding it in, I'm at the point now, do's and don'ts for dating, because I've dated in the past. I used to love dating.
I remember
pandemic.
you telling
I loved
me.
it. Do love it.
I remember because of when I split up with another ex, and you were saying
I love
about how
dating.
you were like, Morgan. First of all, you were going, Morgan, just go and date. Just go and see what's out there. Now you're telling me, just be single. Stay away from the male species.
But that's because you need to be single for a bit. You, for yourself, need to be single for a bit.
I've been single for nearly 2 years. Can people leave me alone?
Not really, no. I agree.
You've not really been single. You have not been emotionally available. You have been emotionally attached.
Whereas me, I feel like it's now getting to that point where it's like I've been alone for so long. I cannot.
What's it coming to
find
now?
someone.
Like 6 years?
5. It'll be 6 in November.
See, I'd say now, I've not been single for just a year, but I feel I've had a year where I have like been emotionally single. Do you know what I mean? I've kind of got over from past relationship, and I've been what I would class as emotion. I won't say I've been available because I've not been bothered about dating, but I've not been hung up on
someone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same.
It's like if I'd have gone to somebody
guys,
before
you know
then.
what? Like, you guys just call me out there. Thanks so much.
But you're where I was at. Which when I was saying like back a year ago, if I'd have got with somebody, I would have gone for the exact same type of guy, or I was still emotionally attached to the last guy. Do you see what I mean?
And I feel like whenever we try and date someone new, we're constantly always comparing the new person on the date to the person that you can't get out of your head. Oh, but he's not this person. He's not this person. He doesn't do that like him.
It felt better with,
And it's so hard to date when you are caught up on something.
And that's why I say I feel like you need to be single at the minute, because it's not that she has issues that she needs to be a change or anything like that. She just needs to get people out of her system and have that time to just be herself and be yourself again.
Yeah.
And not the damaged version that they left you as. You need to be yourself
enjoying your
again.
own company is a massive part of it as well. Unfortunately, it can go to the extreme of where you're so content and you really enjoy your own company that being around someone that you don't even really like, it's like, no, I'm out, I can't bother.
That was like me for ages. I mean, I can still be like it now. I can literally just spend all day in my flat and not see or speak to anyone, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's like the days when, like, you don't hear from me and you're like, are you okay? And I'm like,
Are you alive?
Yeah.
Me time.
You were meant to come over last night and you didn't appear. Are you dead?
Yeah.
You know what? I do that so bloody much. And it's either because that I then end up having a nap, or I've lost track of time and I've gone, but it's too fucking late now. I'm not going.
But yeah, so do's and don'ts of dating, and I think some of you guys need to learn this. No offence. But what's a good first date?
Right, cinema, no. That's a
cinema is a
don't.
no. How the hell are you going to communicate?
I don't think until you're actually in a relationship, I don't think cinema is a good date.
That's like 7 dates in.
Because you've got to be comfortable not saying anything to each other by that point.
100%.
Like, if you are not... I mean, it's like us. It's like we could all be sat here watching a film, content, you know, in the company of that. We don't need to say anything. You know, we could go to the cinema. We could go somewhere, you know, we could go around like an art exhibition where, you know, you've got to be hush-hush. Probably a little bit impossible for me. But where you can be a little bit hush-hush and we can be content because... you know, we are comfortable with each other.
We know each other, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas when you're trying to get to know somebody, yes, okay, let's go on a date where we can't talk and actually get to know each other because we're watching something where it has nothing to do with getting to know each other.
Well, you're not meant to, that's the thing, you're not meant to talk.
Speak, like, you're literally not meant to.
I had that, so the one that I've said I'm not interested in,
yeah,
you know exactly who I'm talking about. They suggested
there's a few.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, they suggested that. They were like, oh, well, you know, let's go to the cinema. I don't want to go to the cinema. I don't want to go to the cinema with you. You keep trying to kiss me.
I'll take myself to the cinema. Like, I don't need.
I will happily go to the cinema on my own.
I would 100% happily go on my own.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like
cinemas are out.
Yeah, no.
What about food? Because you see, this was my thing, right? I was always like, do you know what? Food is a good date. But then someone's like, yeah, but it can be awkward with food.
I agree.
However,
I agree.
I think it depends on the food. I have a theory for this. Tapas type food.
I was just going to say tapas because it's quick, small, easy, like...
And not only that, you're getting lots of different dishes, so if like the conversation's dry, you know, you can go, oh, have you tried this? Oh, what's that one? Shall we try this one? You know, especially,
100%.
even like, I know it's a bit dodgy because not everyone likes it, but even like your sushi places, because again, it's the stuff going around the conveyor belt, so you could go, oh, what's that? Let's try that.
It's a bit more active, visual.
Yeah.
It'd be a little bit awkward if you are, and this is me being honest, somebody like me who your appetite fluctuates. And so then it's kind of like...
But
at a tapas place, that wouldn't be too bad.
But I also feel like if you were to date someone, straight away for me, I need to know if you're a fussy eater. If we're going for food, I can't be with a fussy eater. If you're a fussy eater, I'm not dating you. I'm sorry. Like, I need a healthy appetite from a man.
Bitch, what?
Come on, how much do we all love going out for food, right?
I mean, yeah, but I'm a fussy eater myself.
I'm not a fussy eater, but...
So imagine dating someone who is fussy but likes the things you don't.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
How is that going to work? Think about it.
Actually, that's a good point.
No, that ain't... I mean, but okay, right, so you guys
How are you ever going to agree where to eat? How?
If you're both fussy, but fussy for the opposite things.
Of things.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Like,
so
say you
saying
like
that you guys
curry,
have got
they
to have,
don't.
Right, so you guys have got to have like similar interests based on what you're saying. It's not about just being like a fussy eater way like me where it's just like, I don't like tomatoes, so I won't have tomatoes on my meal. Or I don't like fish, so I won't go to a sushi place. Like...
I just can't be with someone who's fussy, I'm sorry.
But also, can I just point this out? Sushi isn't just fish, guys.
No.
I have to point this out. Everyone always gets this really wrong.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Sushi is not just fish.
No, it's seaweed and rice.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's other
and
stuff.
sauces and, you know,
and avocado and veggies and...
Right, I don't like avocado.
Anyway, so,
I like certain vegetables.
Not a sushi podcast,
so
let's move on.
So, I agree with that. I understand
you know what
about...
I mean, right?
Yeah, I understand with like...
You're going to clash.
But to me, again, even with like... Because obviously as well, I have Crohn's. I have Crohn's disease, so there's certain foods that I struggle with.
Of course.
And if I go out and I eat something spicy or
you mean like
popcorn, I've literally had 2 days of being in agony because my daughter wanted a cinema day, so we got loads of popcorn and I ate it, even though I knew I was going to be in pain for 2 days.
Right. Woo. Yeah, no, I get that.
But yeah, so again, that's why I think tapas is a good one, because again, you can pick, you can choose. I can have a bite. Oh, I love chorizo, but I might bite that chorizo and go, that's too hot for me today. You know, it's not like you've ordered a full big meal. And again, if your appetite's in and out, you can buy a few more, you can buy a few less.
Yes. Correct. So let's like put it in another way as well. Is that like, until I am comfortable with somebody, I don't in particularly like eating in front of them.
That is a different thing.
A lot of people have that.
A lot of people do have that.
You know. It's different when it's friends because, but even then it's like I had to like get comfortable in front of people first before I started eating in front of them.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not.
You know, but it's like I love my food. I think we can all agree that I love my food.
Yeah, we're gonna do podcasts from our favourite Chinese as well at some point.
Oh God, yeah.
You can come, it's lovely.
But you will have to come. You will need to come.
Where is this Chinese?
It's a bit of a trek from here, but it's fine.
I'll drive, it's fine.
It's worth the drive.
It's definitely worth the drive.
Especially if we do a theme night, although we won't be able to do a podcast on theme night because it'd be way too loud.
Oh no, but we could do a vlog, like that'd be so funny.
It would. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, for me, it's like I can get quite shy because, believe it or not, because I don't particularly feel comfortable enough eating in front of other people if I don't know them and I'm not comfortable in front of them. But that goes back to past problems and traumas.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? So it's kind of...
Everyone has their own little things.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other one to me is cocktail bars. Now, again, cocktail bars, and this was an interesting one because I've always been one where if I go to a bar or something with somebody, I want to be seated somewhere where I can talk to them because, again, I want to get to know someone. But again, I heard this the other night where a cocktail bar but seat yourself at the bar for two reasons. One is that you're closer to each other at the bar because of how the seats are. But also, if it is an actual cocktail bar, I'm not talking about going to freaking Lloyd's who serve a few cocktails, you know. But if you're at a proper cocktail bar, the barista behind the bar is trained, and you can have a discussion about the alcohols. You can, you know, ask them to make you up different flavours. And again, it adds that where if the conversation gets a bit stagnated, there's an extra thing, you know, like, oh, look how he's just done
what's
that,
your bestseller, actually? You can ask them what's
exactly, you can put it, and they are trained to have that banter as well. Proper cocktail bar.
Yeah.
Well, that's like
you know
when
what
I
I mean?
used to work in a cocktail bar, you could tell, and this is God's honest truth, when working behind a bar, you can tell when somebody is on a first date.
I know, on Saturday, straight away when I got there, I was like, oh, I'm on a first date. I just made it known. I didn't, I feel like people can just tell. I'm just like, oh, I'm on a first date. I was telling the staff, like, just on a first date.
But I'd never thought about that sitting at a bar, at the actual bar.
But,
to me, I'd always gone for a table and I'd like to be sat, not out the way, but where I can chat, but I wouldn't necessarily be bothered about being at the bar.
With
I've
some certain cocktail bars, on a Thursday, Friday and Saturday, because that's like their busiest times, they will turn the music up and they will take the chairs away from the bar because they don't want to restrict people from getting to them.
Would you go on a first date on a Friday or Saturday night to a busy bar?
No.
On a first date?
First date.
No, I feel like it needs to be quite low-key. Let's be honest, the first date is just to see, A, they look like their pictures, B, you're sexually attracted to them, and 3, they have got the chat that is coming across on text.
Got a bit of riz.
Yeah.
That's all the first date is.
That
so
you've
for
both
me,
got the same vibe.
there doesn't need to be pressure. It doesn't need to be a bougie, fancy place. It doesn't need to be food, Michelin star. It can just literally be something as simple as a walk. I'm confident within myself to carry the chat.
I said this to you, didn't I? Is that like nowadays people get so hooked up on the thought of that dates have to
They
cost
want the
money.
glitz and glam thing.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, like I said to you, if I like got like a good vibe from this person, like, I mean, let's say like that you met them on a night out or something, and like you guys had like a good laugh and stuff, you've got like good energy from this person, and then they said, I want to take you out, like, to me, I would be quite happy to go for a drive, go get a milkshake, and like park up somewhere where it's got like, I don't know, a view of like the city lights, or you know, like watching the planes or something. It doesn't have to cost money. I mean, nowadays, with the, you know, with the price of fuel and stuff, it may as well be the same price as a date.
They would charge for oxygen if they could.
Yeah, literally. But it doesn't always have to be a restaurant or, you know, going out to the cinema or to do fancy things and stuff like that. It could literally just
so
be,
low-key.
you know, the whole point of a date is getting to know someone.
Especially the first. It's just a vibe check. It's all it is. And men seem to deep it too much.
You know.
They think we want glitz and glam.
But as well, it's like, why would you want to put that pressure into a date by making it so official that it's a date?
Can I play devil's advocate here? So I'm going to say something.
Of course you're going.
Yes, because that's
That's
what,
you.
that's my job. Okay, that's my job. But doesn't necessarily mean that this is how I actually think. But do you ever think that as women to a point have made this a bit of an issue? And let me finish it, because think about this.
Yeah.
The 50 Shades of Grey thing. The amount of people, and at the time I was living, I was mates with a girl. She was great. She'd been like a stunt woman, and all. She was an incredible woman. But we went there, and in the car back home, I swear down, her words to me were, "That's it. If a guy wants to take me out, they need to come and pick me up in a helicopter and take me off for a meal somewhere."
Good luck, honey.
Okay,
Good luck, honey.
Okay, that is an extreme. But at the same time, it's like, that is what we are feeding the guys. That this is what we want. We want to be wined and dined. We want the glitz. And we've almost made a bit of a rod for our own back, because actually,
100%.
we don't want that. We just want to be able to talk to you.
The real women don't want that.
No.
The social influencers want that. The girls that can just get a photo up and
materialistic.
I'm at a tattoo restaurant. Ooh, like
the materialistic, where they can flaunt it, being like, "Well, he took me there.
I'm being wined and dined. This is where I got took for
I mean,
the first
don't get me
date."
wrong. I love to go to a nice restaurant. I do. I love.
Oh, I love getting
nice
dressed
Yeah.
up. Any excuse to get dressed
Exactly.
up. Like, I love it.
But I don't expect that on a first date. I just want to chat to you. I want to go for a drink. I want to chat to you. And I say a drink because the reason why I say a drink is, for me, it's a case of calms your nerves. It gives you something to play with or to do if it does feel that little bit awkward at first, because it can.
Yeah.
You know, we can all get a bit shy. They can be a bit shy, and until you've sort of just gone, take a breath. You can't judge it on the first 30 seconds, put it that way. You know what I mean? You need to sit and have a little bit of a.
No.
You know what I mean?
As well, it's like going for a drink. You don't want to go somewhere where it's overcrowded, where it's too noisy. You actually want to go somewhere where it's quiet, it's chilled, it's relaxed. Not somewhere where the vibe is very electric.
Do you know what I like doing? I like going. If I'm meeting up with a guy, obviously it depends on what the guy does and when you can meet and blah blah blah. And when I say what the guy does, I mean as in, like, for example, so me, I'm self-employed, so I can be flexible throughout the day. Whereas a guy who works in an office will be generally 9 to 5.
100%.
So where I personally like going like just after lunch, so you've got that little bit of a lull. It's around like 2 o'clock-ish, 3 o'clock. I like to go, and I'm just going to throw an example out there. So go down to Leicester, down to Turtle Bay.
Love that.
In an afternoon, catch up with a guy.
Absolutely.
You know, just have a date there, have a couple of cocktails. You know, my car's in that big car park somewhere, so I can escape fairly quickly.
Exit left.
I'm only going, or I can jump on the bus out of there. You know, when I'm ready. But it's just that nice, chilled. But there's enough other stuff going on. So if you go, do you know what? Actually, let's just go for a wander. You can go for a wander around the city centre. You can go, or like I say, if you've had that one drink and you go, actually, I'm not feeling it. You can go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That to me is about. I'm not necessarily saying you have to take me there, guys. You know, I'm just saying that's the sort of vibe. You know, where
I think it just depends as well what you are actually wanting from this person.
But I won't want to go there Friday night.
Is it just fun, or is it something you can see long term? That's what it all depends.
But as well,
on.
I do feel like sometimes you can get that kind of vibe from them from how they message. You know, like.
Yeah, you can.
Some are very hard to read.
Yeah, that's why I said sometimes.
I
Not
think
all the time.
I think there is definitely, and again, I've always said this, where when I say I have the 6-month Riz period, where basically I can have so much banter with somebody, especially over message. I can speak to people on the phone. I can have so much banter, and then it's almost like that's it. The Riz is finished. The that pattern of conversation then finishes after like 6 weeks, and it's like, but
that's the thing.
nothing.
But that's
so
the thing
this
as well,
is why
like,
I say yes, on message you can feel it.
Yeah.
But it's not till you actually properly get to know somebody.
As well, it's like I feel like
face.
sometimes, even though like you can go and meet them face to face, they'll still like try like to keep up with the chat, but sometimes like the chat just fizzles out, and that's because they, you know, they can't be bothered, because it's like us as women don't want to come across as needy, too much, too strong.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we don't want to come on as being the chasers, we want to be the chased.
Do you ever think that as a general rule, and this is not just women, men as well, we all just overthink it, and actually we should literally just be honest and be ourselves and stop trying to impress somebody, because that's the thing that gets people in trouble, is when you try and impress. So like, for example, you might go, oh, I want to meet this guy, so I'm going to dress in a certain way because I want to come across like this, where actually if you get with me, I'm going to be just like this most of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we all go, and I get it, you do, it's peacocking, you want to try and impress the other opposite person, of course you do, because that's, you want to attract them.
I guess as well though, it's like, so obviously like in our era, let's say, sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble with my wrist, it's been killing me all day. In our like generation, almost, it's very social media
Oh yeah, it's wrecked everything.
orientated.
It has wrecked
but
a lot of things.
and it's like, so it's like whenever like a guy has like added me from my Instagram, because all they see on my Instagram is dolled up in dresses, you know, on a horse, out doing something, on a walk.
Well,
my car.
That guy that we both met, that's all he said to me about Morgan was, you know, I like her Instagram,
But then, like, when people...
It's not real
It's not
life.
substance, is it? It's not
But then,
substance.
like, when people actually like, add my Snapchat and then they watch my stories, they then go, fuck, she's a nutter.
So you get nutter and I get, gosh, she's actually quite boring.
In a funny way, but it's...
I don't know what mine is, dread to think.
But it's like, you know...
You don't post some shit, you.
Mine is, she don't post at all and she never replies, that's me.
Yeah, but it's like, the thing is that, like, I'm very... My Instagram, I don't really use my Instagram. It's just there to be like, yeah, hi guys, I'm still here, I'm still alive, and this is what I'm doing, see you later. My Snapchat is where, like, people want to see, like, the raw life, the raw version, filtered-ish. You know, that's then when people see that 9 times out of 10, I'm in my comfies. 9 times out of 10, I'm in my bed when I'm not at work. And 9 times out of 10, I'm eating or I'm drinking. Like, more eating than drinking, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, and that's then where people are like, when like they're Snapchatting me and like, then like they're trying to get to know me with a Snapchat, and I'm like, mate, I can talk for England. I can talk the hind legs off a donkey. Do not chat to me if your responses are going to be dead. If you can't keep up with the flow.
100%.
Because if you're just going to try and chat to me and just think that I'm going to be like, or like this like cute, like little short replies. No, I will literally send 10-minute voice notes, as you both very well know.
Yeah. But I find that actually is a good tip. So slightly predate. So when I met my ex, we met on Tinder. How Tinder used to be before, it was literally just a hookup site, because it is just a hookup site now.
advertises
Literally
safe
is.
sex on like by Durex.
But back then, but what I will say is, yes, we met on there, i.e., you know, that's where we were introduced to each other. But at the time, I think I was in the middle of my exams, and I can't remember what he was doing. Either way, the timing for actually going out on a date wasn't great.
Yeah.
So we ended up adding each other on socials, as well as chatting on WhatsApp, on Snapchat, and we literally got a good idea, because it must have been, because my exams were like 3 weeks. So for them 3 weeks where we were like chatting, and it wasn't like we were chatting every day, it was just like, you know, every like other day, whatever, whenever we felt like, you know, whenever the thought came into your mind, you go, oh hi, you know, how are you? Or you'd Snapchat would go up with them on a night out,
And
and
the reply.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we got a good sort of vibe for where we were.
I feel like sometimes you
that.
just get to watch their life as well and see what kind of things they
Yeah.
engage in and activities, and you get to see them. Men tend to do that. They'll always tend to just watch from afar and see what you like and observe you before they really do get to know you and ask you out on a date. They'll watch you.
But throwing on a different thing, because I do think you need to like meet people in person, but you also know that there's... It sounds like I'm chatting to loads of guys, and I do, but not all in that sort of a way.
Not like that.
You
You
know,
have options.
yeah, but a guy that I'm chatting to who lives quite a long way away, I'm not going to say exactly where they live, because they may be watching.
Who knows?
You never know. But
yeah.
how many times have I said to you, I have never met a person who has such the same vibe as me,
Honestly,
and I
every
feel like this person would never judge me. I can just completely be myself. I don't need to feel like I have to filter anything.
No.
I don't have to bullshit anything. And that's how I feel about
Your
this guy.
authentic self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
But
so nice.
at the same time, because I'm 25, I'm a little bit immature for my age. Let's put it this way: people don't
I still got it wrong.
People don't actually think I'm the age that I am.
Yeah, which is a win.
You know, which is a win, because I don't think I look that age, but at the same time I don't act that age either.
All of my friends said, obviously, that you didn't look your age.
No, because I'm 25, so I do look older than 25, don't I? You know. But anyway, what I was saying.
Your
but
grey
again,
hairs would
because
say
of that,
differently.
Trying to meet people. It is literally like that TikTok that's going around where it's like, when I was younger, the dating pool was everybody, and now it's just like a shallow pool of age-appropriate men that are old. And I don't want to do that.
I know.
But this guy is actually age-appropriate, tick, you know.
You literally know that TikTok off by heart now, don't you?
Oh, it's because it's so relevant to me.
I was about to say,
Really
you relate to it.
Massively.
TikTok really said for you.
But, you know, age-appropriate, but literally they are so on my vibe.
Yeah.
And again, I've never met this person face to face. Yes, we've had phone conversations. Yes, we've sent some messages. Nothing explicit, guys. So don't do that. But you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's. But the vibe is there, and I can feel that vibe, and I 100% feel like I can just totally be myself.
That's so nice.
But that's what I mean, though, by like sometimes you can get the vibe from somebody over like messaging them, but as well, like you said, in a way, sort of like pre-dating is sort of like, you know, seeing what they do get up to on their socials, seeing what they actually do, and you know, looking at what their interests are, but without being a creep about it and messaging them at every bloody story they put up.
Yeah.
So I'm not being funny, guys. Us women, we don't like that. That
it's
just
giving beg.
It gives us the ick.
Yeah. If you're there
It's a
replying
big
to
ick,
every single story that we put up on our Snapchat or our Instagram, being like, so I think I put one up a few days ago about like, oh, you know, like where are these men at that, you know, are honest with you and open and tell you how they feel and reassure you, right? And this guy who always replies to my stories, well, I'm right here, but you don't want it because you are a beg mate.
Right. I have to just say this as well, guys. We had this conversation earlier before we actually started on this. Please, I am fed up. Of being told that I think I'm better than guys or that I'm better than people. You may tick every single box for me on paper. Every single box. You might be a good looking guy, you might be the nicest guy in the world, you might have morals, an amazing job,
goals,
family guy, whatever, everything. You might tick everything. But if I just don't fancy you, I'm sorry.
You can't force
I can't force that, and
No.
I'm not going to put you in that position where I'm going to get with you but feel like there might be somebody better out there just because you tick all my boxes.
Literally.
And it's nothing against you. Like I say, you could be the most perfect guy in the world. You are to somebody, but you're just not the one for me.
Yeah.
And please, you've got to stop taking that as, number one, you're not good enough, because that's not the case. And we've got to stop doing that as well.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that we're not good enough, you know, and it's not that I think that I'm better than you, or that they think that they're better than me as whatever. It's just, you cannot help who you are attracted to, who you're physically attracted to, you know. And I would hate for anybody to get themselves into any sort of relationship or whatever
and feel like they're settled.
and feel like they've settled or not have that absolute spark and admiration for that other person.
Okay.
Like, I want that. I want fireworks. Like, it doesn't have to be
so just
a
leading
dream job, you know?
just like leading on from that.
Yeah.
So kind of goes off dating a little bit.
That's fine. We do this.
We literally no, mate, we don't just do that. We literally go round and then we come backtrack and then on. But anyways, so a friend of mine has just recently split with her fiance.
God bless her.
She made the decision because. Are you seriously still hungry?
No, it talks. It's part of the conversation.
What is it saying now? I want dick.
Mrs. Morgan, carry on. No, my stomach doesn't have to. Jesus Christ, how big do you think these men are?
You don't know, you could be swallowing potential children now, you know what I mean?
This is getting cut out.
In fairness, it probably won't, but no!
Anyways.
Don't swallow. Sorry.
That is a whole other podcast.
It's a whole other site. Morgan, carry on.
Whole other bloody site, yeah, it's called RedTube.
You know it.
Okay, right, I'm back on track. Fiance.
So, she just recently split with her fiance. She's the one, I can't stop laughing at your stomach now. She's the one who ended it with him because when they first got together, he was very much like, I'll look after you, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then he got really lazy. But because she was young, she was very besotted. She was very much like
Naive.
Yeah, she was very much like, oh, but he loves me. How does it? Oh, well, he buys me flowers every now and then. Okay, yeah, you know what? Every girl likes flowers.
And how much older was he, or was he the same age?
Well, so they got together when she was 16 and he was 19.
See, she's not even lived.
Yeah. So, you know, but
It's quite sad, actually.
yeah, but to her, she was like,
How old is she now?
she's 20 this year.
Oh, she's got time.
So much time.
Yeah.
I wish I could
And
go back.
so, basically, I'm just going to say this right now, because like, this is somebody that I live with. This is somebody that I work with. I can't fucking think now. You're putting me off.
Sorry.
Somebody that
I'm just a big distraction.
you really are. This is somebody that I work with, and so I don't care if my co-workers see this. They know.
You're not mentioning names or anything. So
No.
It's fine.
But all I'm saying is that I don't care if any of my co-workers see this, because I've called them out on it so many times. She has been made to feel guilty for ending it with him. She has been told that she has made a very rational decision, that she's done it because he's away all the time, because he's military. You know, she's done it because now that she's got the house and then he's away, like, you know, she's just kind of gone, well, if that's how it's going to be, I don't want you. But that's not it. There's
But
a
they're
lot.
not married, though. So
No,
it's not
there's
even
a
that
lot.
deep.
There's a lot of other factors.
It's not
He got lazy. He tried to control her in the fact of that he was telling her who he couldn't
Control him.
he
Who
was
she
telling
could and
her
couldn't
who
see.
she couldn't go and couldn't see, when she couldn't go out, you know, who she couldn't have over, you know, and that she had to be home by a certain time when he was away for him to call her and stuff when he's away. You know, just all of that type of stuff. She would cook his dinner and he would sit there and drink, and he is a vile drunk. Right? And it's only actually just come to light recently, and I'm sorry if she sees this and she's not happy with me saying this, but I'm not mentioning names. He's actually laid hands on her. But the women at work don't know this. And so they've all made this person feel really shit in the decision that she's made. And I've said to her, at the end of the day, you're making this decision for you and your own happiness. You are 20.
She needs to get out now.
Yeah. And I said to her, I said, if you don't get out now, you're never going to get out.
And not only that, if she doesn't do it now, he's again himself has chance to see what he's doing and realise his mistake.
Well, so
instead
now,
of thinking it's acceptable.
Well, so now he's trying to be like, I don't want this to be over, you know, I'm going to change.
No, they never do. They never do.
I said this to her. I says, don't believe it, because they don't. I says, I'm sorry. I says, but they don't.
They just don't. They might for the first few months and that's it.
And this is exactly what I said. And so she got home one day from work. She had a really stressful day, bless her. And she rang me up in absolute tears, and she showed me the house, and it was an absolute shit state. And it wasn't like that when she went home at lunchtime. And so I said to her, I said, yeah, no, you need to get out. And, you know, because that he's come back and she's already ended it with him, but they've got the house and blah, 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 she was like, I could live with you as a friend. And I said to her, that isn't going to work, but you're going to learn that yourself. She's now learned that. She says that she can't deal with it. And I said to her, I says, I'm not going to say I told you so, because nobody ever wants to hear that. It was more of the fact that I thought that would be the case. And so...
That's sad as that. But like you say, at least she's got out, though.
Yeah.
While she can. But that, actually, you have led on to a really good point with this. And this is it. And this is my biggest tip for, like, dating.
I think, obviously, it's all about, like, a false persona, basically.
Well, it's not just that. This is my big tip for dating. Never answer the question of what it is you're looking for in a guy.
100%.
Because
if they ask you, you don't tell them.
Just say, I will let you know when I find it. I'll let you know when I find it.
100%.
Because
short and sweet and
you
simple.
give a list of
They're
this
gonna
is what
be
I
that.
want.
They're gonna be
they will do everything because they want you. They want you. So if you give them a tick list of what you want, that's how they're going to be.
Let me walk into this person.
Likewise, why did you split up with your ex? Again, don't tell them, because they will try and avoid any behaviour that's going to remind you of why you split with your ex. It's not important.
All you ever say is,
important.
It just didn't work out.
Exactly. We just weren't right for each other. We weren't right for each other.
Yeah.
You know, well, what you're looking for in a guy, I'll let you know when I find it.
100%.
Because otherwise, and I think that probably works both ways, guys, as well. So I'm not just blanketing, but it does tend to be, because women tend to be a bit more like, this is what I want, whereas guys are quite simple, usually, with what they want. So just don't give the tick list, because if you do, that's what you're going to get,
and then that's when they fall into that like false persona.
And like with
my
you know, your friend, that could, I mean, obviously we weren't there for the start, but it sounds to me like he was everything. He love bombed her. He did everything that he could to make her believe that he was the perfect guy for her.
They love to manipulate us.
But to me, because that she is obviously quite young, and she was young at the time, and obviously everybody used to say the same thing to me when I was like, you know, 14, 15, 16. You don't know what love is.
And you don't know what you want.
I know that now. They were right. I didn't know what love was back then.
Even now, at the age of 25, I don't know what I want.
No, my first relationship from 15, I was 5. It was 5 years. I was 5? I wasn't 5. It was 5 years long. I was 15 and it was a 5-year relationship. My first relationship. Looking back now, that wasn't love. You think it's love and it's not.
Yeah.
How can it be love at 15?
And it's like...
But you can fall out of love as well, though. I do believe you can fall out of love.
Especially from falling in love so young. You just
and you have periods in your life where you need different things as well.
But as well, what I believe is that when you give people the information...
The tick list.
For them, the tick list, for them to manipulate you into believing that they are that person, you don't love them. You are in love with the idea.
100%.
Because as soon as their true colours come through, that's then when you're like...
They break character.
Yeah, and then you're like, but why are you like this? This wasn't you at the start. But then that's when it then falls into that whole... They can then get you wrapped around their little finger, because then how they will keep their claws into you is that then every now and again... They will go back to acting like that nice guy that you first met.
But I have to just say this, because yes, there are guys out there that do it for manipulation, but there are some guys that just so badly want that girl. They're not doing it on purpose to deceive you or to be manipulating.
They just want to get you straight away.
They do want to be that person. It's like when guys say I'll change. A lot of the time they mean that they want to change, but they're not going to. And it's the same thing as, even if they will try and be that person, but they can't be that person because it's not them. And I'm only saying this because I don't want it to make you think that we're saying that everybody's manipulating or that's all they're doing. Sometimes it's not done out of malice.
No.
It's done because they want you and they do actually want to be that person for you, but they're not that person. So they can't be that person.
No, I do completely get what you're saying, and like you just said,
but then you do get the narcissists who...
Yeah, like, you know, a good few of my exes. But that's why I'm saying, like, you know, like...
Morgan's number one tick list item.
Daddy flag.
That's her number one tick list item. Narcissist.
Did you seriously just say daddy?
The daddy red flag. The big daddy. The daddy of the red flag.
She doesn't mean like dad, like...
I was gonna fucking say you were about to make me vomit in my mouth.
Oh, no, we don't do that.
No.
Daddy.
I don't mind a grey fox, though. Silver fox, you know. An older man.
Here you are then, for the older generation. Get at our sugar baby Taylor.
My socials are down below.
Hook her up on a social.
Join the queue.
I'm 25, so you know.
But like what? What I'm trying to say is that I wasn't saying that everybody is manipulative. What I'm saying is
I know you weren't saying that. I just wanted to make that clear.
But all I was trying to say is that in this situation, because that she was so young.
Oh God, yeah. 100%.
And obviously he was going into his adult years. He was kind of like, you know, he'd got her where he wanted her, and he knew how to keep her where he wanted her. And now that because that she's now in an office full of older women and that she can get an older perspective, that's now where it's all came falling apart. But then, because that these women haven't heard the full story, all they've heard about is, oh yeah, we've had a little tiff. Oh yeah, this has happened. You know, they've then automatically gone, you're doing this, you know, just out of nowhere. Where has this all come from? There's somebody else on the scene. There's nobody else on the scene. It's the fact that she is fed up of being treated like a modern day slave. And that is just how it is, point
This
blank.
generation of women will not settle for that.
Either way, though, it doesn't matter. The person you're with, you could be with somebody, and that person could have done nothing wrong. if you have decided you don't want to be with that person
100%,
anymore,
it's okay.
then that's okay. Yeah, sometimes there are factors like, you know, there might be kids involved.
Yeah.
And of course, then you go, I'm not happy, but I will try. You might try for a little bit, but
you
don't.
feel sad.
It is sad, but you shouldn't stay, even
No.
when there's kids involved. You shouldn't just stay for the kids. You should,
Because
you know, if you're not happy, you're not happy.
It's not just that as well. It's like when you've got kids involved and you're trying to stay to make the other person happy, or because you don't want to have a broken family, it then creates a hostile environment because it
Exactly.
almost makes you then grow to hate the person near enough.
But it's okay if you don't want to be with that person more. Like we've just said, you can just fall out of love with people. But you can just, you know, you do need different things at different times of your life.
But then as well,
it's okay.
you know, just a massive like tip here. Don't try and find a reason to leave. A reason to leave is your own happiness.
A reason to leave is looking to find a reason to leave. If you have to look to find, if you're thinking, I don't want to be here, I need to find a reason to leave. This
There's
is,
your
again,
reason.
guys, as
That's
well.
the reason.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
guys, this is a toxic trait that I've had a lot, is when a guy has decided that they have had enough, they will do everything to get the girl to break up with them.
Oh, but they won't leave. They won't
That's
leave
what I
you
mean.
because they still have
Just
access
just
to
leave.
you.
If you're not happy,
They wait for the woman
just
to leave them. We all
don't,
know this.
Don't do things just to make us have enough and walk out so you can say it was us.
A man will break that woman until literally till her breaking point, and
Yeah.
still wait for her to break up. It's very rare that I've ever met a guy that's actually finished the relationship. Very rare.
But you've also got to understand, guys, as well, is that from a woman's point of view, if you are treating a woman like that, she will emotionally check out before she
100%.
actually leaves. So me, with my ex, I think I'd emotionally checked out probably about 3 or 4 months before I actually made the decision.
100%.
And again, because I had a kid involved,
Yeah.
I wanted for that to work. But then ultimately I was given an ultimatum, and that was the biggest mistake, because I'd already mentally checked out. The minute I got given that
You were
ultimatum,
gone.
that gave me my physical opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I was never going to cheat. I was never going to do it, because that's not who I am. You know. But I had already emotionally checked out. The whole affection and everything was just not there. I wasn't bothered. We weren't really hanging around together as much
That's when
anymore.
you know the spark is completely gone.
Yeah.
See, I think this was why. So like, there's a different reason as to like why it was so difficult for me to leave my last relationship, and why it was so difficult for me to get over it. And it's because obviously he was such a loving, kind, caring person when we first got together, and we were always laughing. And I've always said this about him. Every night with me and him was like date night. Get home from work and he'd give me a hug and he'd chill with me, and we would literally just spend at least like a good half hour to an hour just on the bed having a cuddle, talking about our day. And then he'd go, I'm going to go and cook dinner. Okay. Or he'd say, if he wasn't in the mood for cooking, he'd say, oh, do you fancy a takeout? Yeah, okay. We'd order a takeout, or we'd cook dinner, we'd go upstairs, and this is when we lived at his parents, or when we lived together, we'd be in the living room watching the TV, but we'd put a film on, or we'd put a series on that we'd want to watch. And so for me, it was almost like every night was like date night for me and him, because it was that quality time. And not just that, but it was the effort of the fact that when I would get in, he'd be on his game. I wasn't bothered about him being on his game.
Yeah, but that's his own time to do as he wishes.
Because then I'd get in, he'd go, I'm going to finish this, then we'll do whatever. And then that's when we'd have a cuddle, blah, blah, blah. And so for me, when I could then see it deteriorating, I was like, but why? Because we had so much in common. We both loved the same things. We went out and did so much together. And so to me, it was like, what's going on? I couldn't understand what had happened.
Yeah, so
there
quickly.
There was something in him that he wasn't happy with, and he did tell me, and we did speak about it, and then we did actually end amicably. However, obviously, then it didn't stay amicable.
It never does.
Never does.
You always have to go through that period of
Hating them.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, you always go through a bit of period.
There is,
where-
always.
But I can always say, no matter what's happened between me and him, and again, this is why I feel like obviously it was so hard for me to let go, whatever happened between me and him, no matter how we ended the conversation on whatever day, if I needed him, he was there. If I rang him up and I said, I'm scared, I need you, or I'm upset and I will need a hug, even after the relationship, he was there.
But that's why it was so hard for you to get over
And
that,
that, yeah.
because you kept letting him back.
But it wasn't just that, and it was because he was my comfort, and because he is a kind, caring person, genuinely, it's difficult. But the thing is that he is better as a friend than what he is in a relationship.
You can't have
But
it both.
you can't
No,
move on.
No.
Once
And
it's got
you've got
even
to move
once
on
it's got
before-
sexual, let's be honest, it is hard to have them as a friend.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. It
Yeah.
is so impossible. You share literally emotions and chemical shit. Like when you're literally having an emotional sexual bond with someone, it's impossible to have a friendship after that. It's impossible.
And that's like, and obviously, like, it's such a shame because he can be a really good friend.
But this is also
But-
why sometimes, because this is another thing that people always say is, be friends first. No.
So I know I'm a massive believer in that.
Are you?
No, a massive,
What, to be
massive
friends
believer.
first?
To be friends and have fun
I've,
first.
I've always found
Yeah.
I've always found that when I say friends first is that quite often, if it becomes a friend zone. And then
Not if
you
you're both
can't cross
interested.
that.
I think you have to be interested. But you have to still not put a label on it too fast. You
Yeah.
both need to know, right, I'm interested. Let's just have some fun first.
Yeah, but this
Yeah.
is what I mean. It's like what I mean by like friends first is you get guys that because the girl's not interested, they try and think, right, well, I'll get in and I'll be their friend, and then see, and as you say, you know, if you don't have that interest, it's very rare to have someone who you've completely friend zoned and then develop that. Not impossible. There's always outside, but. Yeah, I don't know. If I fancy somebody in that way, I don't want them as a friend.
I just think as soon as it turns
As in
sexual,
friend zone
yeah,
friend.
you can be friends with someone to a certain degree. As soon as you get sexual, I'm sorry, the friendship it's not a friendship
it
anymore.
depends on like how. When I say how sexual, I mean like it depends on how intimate you were. As in like, so it's like one of like my really close lad mates. Yeah, I slept with him once, but me and him, we are really good friends, and we have both said we would never do that again.
Then that's fine. If it was just a one-off,
But, yeah.
absolutely perfectly fine.
But like, I think when you say when it was a relationship and
can
there
never,
and it was
ever.
very, very intimate,
It can never ever be a friendship again.
no.
It
And
alters
also
it.
we-
Alters it.
I think like obviously like
Clever.
as you guys know, like we both tried, but it always ended up back in the bedroom. And
Exactly.
you know, and that's not me saying he took advantage of of my feelings.
No, you're not.
No, it's
No, women have needs too.
Yeah.
Come on, like we have.
but
needs
you
too.
also-
but you know sometimes how people can perceive this. So I'm just pointing it out there. I'm not saying that he took advantage of my feelings or anything like that. What I'm saying is that it was very, very 50-50. Very 50-50. The fact that you can always read a room and you can always read a vibe, especially with somebody that you were very close with. And he is still the only person who can tell from the tone of my text if I'm in a mood or not. I could literally, if I could just say to somebody, no, yeah, I'm fine, no, nothing's up, he'll be able to tell from how I've typed it if I'm in a mood or not. Yeah. Well, he used to. Don't speak to him.
No, but
And
yeah.
let's hope it stays that way.
For your own good, babe, because we love you.
I know.
But yeah, so
And on that one,
what do we want to hear from these guys this week?
I think,
Dating tips,
Right.
do's and don'ts. Where's good to go for a date?
like what are your do's and don'ts? What are your red flags on a date? And give us like some unique dating experiences. Like tell us some of your stories. That's what I want.
like example of a red flag, splitting the bill. I know it's a subject for a lot of people.
I always believe in the fact that if they go to pay and you go, oh, I'll cover mine. Showing that you're offering is a big thing, and
Offer
then
is nice.
Yeah, and then if they go, no, I don't worry, I've got it. Because I think I saw a thing on TikTok where it was like, if the girl, you know, if you're the one that's taking the girl out,
I was going to say, I've heard that.
Yeah,
if you're the one that's asked for the date.
Yeah, then you're the one that pays. But, you know, as well, it's always been made a thing that the guy should pay for the date. I'm a bit different. Like, if I've gone on a date with a guy,
offer.
yeah,
I don't necessarily want to pay
No,
half, but
Yeah.
I'll offer on the first date, and then if we go out again, I'll offer again. And then if we go out and we do something that I have suggested, I will literally wrestle that boy to make sure that I'm paying. Because to me,
I'm mixed, I think.
no, to me, it's like...
It's not, but to me, it's not so black and white.
I think if I know I'm not going to see them again, I'm paying for my half. I don't want no debt.
No, but like, what I mean is, like, if they've asked me out and they've took me to do something that they want to do, and then I've said, well, I want to go and do this next, I'm going to pay for the thing that I'm then doing next, but I'm still going to offer to pay for the things that they've took me out to do.
So, guys, what's your opinion? Should the guy pay? Should it be whoever arranges the date?
I would love to get the feedback.
Also,
on that.
guys, like we were saying about the red flags, if you get your comments in and let us know, because we are going to do one on red flags. So,
red flags with the red flag queen.
Right here. So yes, if you get the comments in, we can use some of the comments. Also, guys, teacup therapy is one that I'm wanting to come up as well, guys. So basically, this is I haven't fully discussed this with you guys yet. So basically, this is a bit like Agony Aunt Corner, and it's called teacup therapy because in Britain, everything is solved by a cup of tea.
Cup of tea, yeah.
So this is why it's called teacup therapy.
Okay. Right.
3 completely underqualified people to help you with your agony aunt style questions, but we're still going to give it a go.
Right, okay, so we've got one who is emotionally unavailable, one who has got all the experience, and the other one who just hates men.
I'm 25. We will
let you guys decide which one is which.
But so guys, message in there. I'll also drop the email underneath as well, because obviously if you don't want to just put it as a comment and you'd rather send an email.
So like, if you want to be anonymous, basically.
You can be anonymous. We're probably not going to read names unless you want it. If you want to add context, we need context as well, guys. So don't just ask a random question without giving us context.
Give some detail. Give some.
We need to know what it is, because we don't want.
We need that tea.
Literally. Teacup therapy. Spill the tea. So yeah, but I think we're just about wrapped up there.
Yeah. So basically, it's give us your do's and don'ts. Give us your dating experiences and your unique, like the good places, like the unique dates and stuff. And then
we want to know about your red flags.
Yeah, the red flags. Like, what are your personal red flags?
Yeah, and then teacup therapy questions. We probably won't record that one until we've got enough, dependent on how big the question is.
Yeah. So.
Doesn't that sound exciting?
Yeah.
Spill the tea at teacup therapy.
Perfecto.
Right, on that note, guys, thank you to Morgan, thank you to Taylor again. She's great. Great. We love you. We love you too. and I'm just the thorn in the middle of the pair of them. So yeah.
The thorn.
Yeah.
What? The thorn in the middle of the bush?
The thorn between two roses. Anyway.
No.
Anyway, guys, take care. Thank you so much yet again, and I hope we haven't bored you too much. But yes.
See you soon.
Bye. That one was.